Hi folks, we are taking a look at the Buccaneer S.2B. This is a new British bomber coming in rank 7 at battle rating 10.3. And you know, as luck would have it for the timing, I had literally just started to record footage on a review of the Buccaneer S2 when they dropped the dev blog for this thing, so go figure. This is a subsonic bomber. It's not even like a strike jet. This is a bomber that the British extensively modified to do a lot more than it was originally designed to. This version here has some stuff. AIM-9Ls at battle rating 10.3. If you are one of the folks who is not super happy about the proliferation of all-aspect missiles at a battle rating that can still fight vehicles that don't have any countermeasures or anything, this is unfortunately going to make it worse, so I'm sorry about that. It also carries Mark 13 laser-guided bombs and a paved spike pod. Ridiculous amount of bombs this thing can take, and unguided rockets. This centerline pylon, by the way, is an internal rotating bomb bay. I'll show you that in a minute. The real star of the show, though, is this new weapon, the AJ-168. This is a TV-guided missile with a 45-kilometer range and a high explosive warhead at battle rating 10.3. This is an interesting weapon. If memory serves, in real life, this missile had the ability for mid-course guidance updates, and I'm noticing it requires you to take the data link pod if you take these missiles, right? In real life, the pilot, was able to like redesignate the target and manually steer this missile. Or I should rephrase, manually pan and scope the target of the TV sensor while the missile was in flight. The idea being that they could fire this at like a naval target that was outside the range of the TV sensor, fire it in the general direction. Then when it was close, the pilot would just adjust the aim of the TV sensor. An analogous sort of an attack profile to like the way an active radar missile works. That functionality does not seem to be on the dev server, at least not yet. Who knows what they're going to do? Regular disclaimers, all this may change. But that was an interesting weapon. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this out into a match with kind of this weird hybrid weapon load. I'm going to try and get a couple of shots with the TV-guided missiles. I'm going to show you the rotating bomb bay, and I'll see if I can get something with this AIM-9L. Hey, Tim from the future here. Real quick, before I go out into the match, I wanted to show you the radar and the ballistics computer and everything on this plane. This is a weird radar set. It's a radar rangefinder that has the PPI and a C-scope, which is weird. You're going to see that when we go into a match. And it gets a full ballistics computer, but this radar warning receiver is kind of weird. It is a directional-based sensor. However, the number of threat types that it can track is extremely low. So there's going to be a lot of question marks showing up on the radar warning receiver, and there's going to be a lot of radar contacts that are just listed as like the letter J, just showing that it's some J-band radar source without being able to identify what. So, sort of a weird combat system on this aircraft. Anyway, let me get out into the match. Okay, so we're out into a match, and let me show you real quick here. Rotating bomb bay. Kind of a neat feature. I've always been a fan of that. So what I'm going to do is, on the way into the bombing targets, I'm going to try and fire off the missiles at some of these ground targets and see what we get. And you can see down on the right there, we've got that weird C-scope with the radar rangefinder, which is kind of strange. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. So Let's see what we got for range there. That looks like it's probably about 16 kilometers or so. Which should be well within range of these weapons. Alright, there's one fired. Let's go for a second one. Oop. Okay. Alright, and let me do the, sorry, let me get set up here. Alright. This will also be a good opportunity. I'll show you the cockpit. Very poor visibility in all directions. Not really a huge fan of this cockpit. You get a gun sight for whatever reason. So that is a thing. Alright, let's see about getting these bombs off. Gonna have to readjust a little. Okay. That was sort of a weird drop. Not really too sure how it's gonna work out. We do have some countermeasures, though, so if one of these guys tries to shoot a missile at us, might be able to evade it. And, okay, so look at the radar warning receiver. You're going to see what I'm talking about. I had some contacts there that were just the letter I. So it was just showing me that there was an I-band radar source, but it didn't really know what it was. Did my bombs? Yeah, they looks like didn't get a lot out of it. So this is kind of a weird plane in terms of its combat systems. I'm not really too sure, what that radar warning receiver and this weird radar rangefinder are going to look like once the patch goes live. But this really is kind of an interesting multi-role aircraft. It's got the all-aspect missiles, for better or for worse. I know a lot of people aren't going to be happy, but they're there. So this is going to be able to defend itself in air combat. But, I mean, you can see how this is lumbering around. This isn't a fighter by any stretch. It's not going to be able to engage in turn fighting. But, at least in a head-on pass or like targets of opportunity, it can take a shot at some stuff in the air. That F-86F is a threat. KI-200. Oh, man. That is not something that wants to eat a missile. Let's try on this F-9F. Get him! Alright, so we got an air-to-air kill in the Buccaneer S.2B. How crazy is that? There is one last thing I want to show you. I want to see if I can get in and show you the radar rangefinder on this thing going off. It has a very short range. The range is only like half a kilometer. But I want you to watch the C-scope. Look at that. Look at how imprecise that C-scope is for a radar rangefinder. I can't imagine what use that is going to have in any sense. But anyway, so this is the Buccaneer S.2B. Kind of an interesting aircraft. I'm a fan of the rotating bomb bay. It's not going to open when it's empty. Those new long-range TV-guided missiles are definitely, in my opinion, going to be something to check out once this aircraft goes live. And of course, the other thing to check out is going to be my channel here for a full review of this aircraft, probably within a week or two of the patch. As always, thanks for watching.